These are some practice problems to help you with Spiral Review Week 9. So on question 1, it says use this data to find quartiles 1 and 3. So step 1 is find the median, which is the middle. So here's our median. So for quartile 1, we will look at these 4 numbers. We need to find the middle of these 4. So this is quartile 1. And we need a number that's halfway between 3 and 5. So quartile 1 is 4. And for the second half, we'll look at these 4 numbers. The middle will be here. So quartile 3 is halfway between 11 and 12. So quartile 3 is 11 and a half. On number 2, we're going to order these numbers from least to greatest. So before we can do that, we need to change them all to decimals. So when we have a percent and we need to make it a decimal, the decimal is here. I'm going to bump 2 away. So that will be 1 9/100. Okay, and then when I have a fraction, I want to make the fraction a decimal, I just divide. So this is 5/3. And so in my calculator, I just am going to type 5 divided by 3. And I get 1.6 repeated. And since these 2 numbers go out to the hundredths, I'll just go to 1.67 because I round that repeated 6 up. And then this one's still 2.48. So now I can put them in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to line them up vertically. 6.49, 1.09, 1.67, and 2.48. So now I can look here, and I'm looking for the least. The 1s are the smallest, so then I go to the next column. The 0 is smaller than the 6. So this is the smallest, that's number 1. And then 1.67 will be next. So this one is next. All right, and then 2.48 is third, and 6.49 is the largest. Okay, on number 3, we're using our formula of is over of is percent over 100. Is over of equals percent over 100. And then we're going to plug in what we know to solve our problem. Okay, so our is 20. So that goes on the top. The of is 60. And percent, we don't know what percent. So that's unknown. And then the 100 always goes at the bottom. Now to solve this, I'm going to multiply up, divide down. So 100 times 20. All we have to do is add these 2 zeros and we'll get 2,000. So if this side's 2,000, then this side is also 2,000. Now I can divide down. I'm going to divide 2,000 divided by 60, and I get 33, and those 3's will repeat. So that's going to be 33.3%. I'm going to find a ratio on number 4. Write the ratio of chips to cookies as a unit rate in simplest form. All right, so I have a list here. I want to do chips to cookies. So chips is 20, cookies is 15. But now I'm going to reduce this because it says as a unit rate in simplest form. So I notice that 20 and 15 are both divisible by 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. All right, so that is the simplest form. Number 5, I'm going to change this number to a fraction and a percent. All right, so if I have 2.75, 2 75/100, and I would change it to a percent, all I have to do is bump towards the percent sign. So that would be 275%. And now if I want to make this into a fraction, this is actually a mixed number because this is your whole number and this is your decimal. So the whole number is 2. And the decimal part is 75, and that's the hundredths place. 75 hundredths. All right, so now I need to simplify this fraction here. So I need a number that's in common between 75 and 100. I know 5 is because they both end in 5 and 0, but I'm going to go even bigger than that. 25 will go into both of these. So I'm going to divide both the top and the bottom by 25. That will give me 2n, and then 75 divided by 25 will be 3, and 100 divided by 25 is 4. So there is your fraction. Okay, on number 6, we have a box and whisker, and it says half the data is greater than what number? So what we need to remember on a box and whiskers is from dot to dot is 25%, and half would be 50%. So another thing I can think of is that the halfway point of a box and whiskers, or the median, is here in the middle of the box. So half the data is greater than 6. Okay, on number 7, it says find the area and the perimeter. Okay, so when I find the area, I use this formula because this is a trapezoid. And all I have to do is plug in my numbers. So a half of the height, and our height is here. It's 4. And then base 1 is 6. And base 2 is 10. And then now all I have to do is solve. So half of 4 is 2, and so 2 times, let's see, 6 plus 10 is 16. And so then all I have to do is 2 times 16, and I get 32. Now if I'm going to find the perimeter, I need to find the outside edges, and I need to add them all up. Okay, so in a problem like this, it wasn't given to us, so if we assume that this side is equivalent and they're equal, then all I have to do is add 6 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5 gives me 26. So the perimeter would be 26. Now if you're given a problem and it does not have these diagonal lines, and it doesn't have them measured, and it's not on a grid, you actually can't find the perimeter. Okay, and then finally we have a word problem. We have a triangle. It has a base of 50 feet and an area of 200 square feet. What's the height of the triangle? So we have to use our area formula, and we're going to plug in what we know. So the base is 50, the area is 200. So the area is 200, we'll put that 200 under the A. Then we have 1/2. All right, base is 50, so 1/2 times 50, and we don't know the height, and that's what we're trying to find. So we'll get that by itself. So 1/2 of 50 is 25, so we're left with 25 times h. To undo this multiplication, we will divide by 25, and what we do to one side, we must do to the other. This will cancel. It leaves h by itself, so finally 200 divided by 25. So the height is 8, and we're done.